We have a couple presentations, and I want to give everybody a chance who wants to share a little history of Hugh, and thanks to Hugh. But first, we're appreciative of everybody coming today. And she just shut the door, but I really want to thank the Royal Oaks organization and the crew here for actually hosting this and actually providing it for no charge for cans. So it was really grateful for it.
Thank you, Royal Oaks.
So, Hugh, we had our first board meeting without you. It was kind of strange. So we got a couple of presentations this morning. So first I would like Tyler from Debbie Lesko's office to come on up and share a little bit.
Yes. You would like to come up here. So the Congresswoman unfortunately couldn't make it. She's out in DC, and she wishes she was here more, but you know, DC calls. So Cheryl sent me over your bio, and when we read it, we're like, we have to recognize all the great work that you're doing. And so one of my highlights of working for Congresswoman Lesko is we get to go into the community and recognize heroes. And so on behalf of Congresswoman Lesko, she wanted to give you a congressional recognition for your dedication and service to the community and the country. So, well, thank you for that.
Your phone went off.
Oh.
I couldn't get it to come back on, but I know that Rusty is the expert at this, and so he and I will get a picture. Ooh, where are you? Well, my phone's not working either. Oh, there you are. Okay, I want you both to great.
Thank you.
Oh, I think we have one more over there.
Oh.
No, it's all right, I'm videoing.
Oh, okay.
Tyler, do you need a picture?
Yes.
You want me to grab it for you? Come on and ask for your passport. Oh, okay. It didn't work.
Lisa knows all about it.
All right, so like
Thanks,
four.
Lisa.
Thank you so much. Congratulations, sir, for everything that you've done.
Thank you.
All right, so before you sit down, we'll have Lisa come up, and she has some words of thanks as well.
So for those of you who don't know me, my name is Lisa Gray. I'm the general manager at the Sun City Homeowners Association. And we started thinking about different people in the community. We have so many people in our community in Sun City. I've lived here since '08, and that serve people, and they go as like unsung heroes, essentially. So this year we started a program. It's called the Sun City Hometown Hero. And we just started promoting it in our newsletters, and we want feedback from people from the community, you know, to nominate folks who are doing things that we don't hear, other people don't hear about, that we can promote. Well, when we planned this out, before we started promoting it, it was decided that he would be our first recipient. Now, with that said, since we've been promoting it, we're getting nominations for Hugh. So you're a done deal here. You are the first recipient of our hometown hero. And so we have, it's not as fancy as the Congresswoman's, but it's very heartfelt from our community. Like, you have done so much. You have affected thousands of people's lives.
That's right. Yes.
You and your organization, thousands. Probably you're not even gonna know that, how many people you have affected until you get to heaven. I mean, thousands of people here. So thank you on behalf of our organization, and as a resident of Sun City, thank you for all that you've done.
Thank
So,
you.
okay. Let's take a picture of you with that one now.
Wow.
Let me get a little closer.
You got the,
You're good.
all
Okay.
right?
Thank you.
All right, thank you. All right, we're on a roll.
Now, we have no more formal. But, so I just want to share a little bit. I was sharing at my table when I got here full-time in 2020. After my career, I was like, I need something to do. So there was a little ad in the Independent about volunteering opportunities at CAN, and I'm thinking, well, someday I need to know about Medicare, so maybe I'll go be a counselor and learn about Medicare. And so I filled out my application and went to the meeting and met Hugh the first time, and just a few days later, I got a phone call from Hugh saying, hey, can we go to lunch? And I actually think Tom was at the lunch, and Jim, and suddenly I became a board member within a few short weeks after I started volunteering. And then thanks to Hugh, now I just stepped in as the president of the board. But he's been a great mentor for me, and I really appreciate the time we get to spend individually. We have spent some time together chatting and talking, and he's been a great mentor and somebody to shoot for. And obviously a lot of people feel the same. So Hugh, thank you so much for all you've done for me in the short time I've been a resident of Sun City too. So
Thank you.
absolutely. I'm going to ask others to come up if they want to share, or just stand up and share, but I'll let you share a few things if you want to before we get to that.
Oh, okay. I'm just grateful today for all of you being here, and for all of you encouragement and support you've given me over the years, the friendship. I'm grateful for all the things we've done. We kind of created this organization from scratch 10 years ago or something. And I was thinking, we wrote the bylaws, and it's kind of a testimony we must have done a good job, because we haven't had to change them for 10 years. And I'm grateful for all the people we've helped and all the impact we've had. There are two people I wish could be here today. One's Lynn Rhodes, who people have told me that a year ago, Lynn was saying, when Hugh retires, we really need to have a party, and she was already thinking about it. And the other person is Marv Worthen, your husband. Marv is the foundation that this organization is built on. He laid the groundwork, although he retired from Sun City taxpayers before CAN was ever started. And this past 4 months has kind of been a blur for me. I sold my house, my condo, and thank goodness I'm no longer the condo chairman. That was the most thankless task in the world. But it was certain I lived there 22 years, so that was kind of hard. I moved over here to Royal Oaks, and that's been a great experience. And one of the things, Dick and Mike and Linda, who is a former board member, and Jack Lacey, who isn't here today. I thought Jack would be here, but he also lives here. So when I've got a question, I've got somebody to call, and they've taken me around and introduced me. And the third thing I've done is resigning from CAN. It's been hard. And then the fourth thing, I turned 85. Those birthdays that end in 5 and 0 are kind of monumental. But there's a quote I wanted to share with you, because the other thing I did is I don't play golf anymore. And so no golf, no CAN, no this. I'm going to have to discover what I'm going to do. And the quote is by Mary Oliver. Tell me what you plan to do with your one wild and precious life. And that's what I'm going to be spending the next year doing, is trying to find out exactly what I'm going to do with my one wild and precious life. So thank y'all so much.
Like I said, no formal agenda, just open it up for people who want to share.
Come on, and so you're Sue Worthen? Okay, I need to talk to you later, but, yeah, I was one of the original board members too. In fact, I was on the board of the Sun City Taxpayer Association. And when Marv started CAN and then closed the Taxpayer Association, he did such a good job, and I thought, who is gonna be able to carry on after he leaves?
Right.
And I just thought, you know, he had big shoes to fill.
Oh, man.
And you came in and you filled those shoes and even exceeded what we were doing before. And so, you know, the thing I remember most about CAN that I think is so impactful for me is, and I wasn't there that much. I mean, I was on the board, but being in the legislature, they kind of gave me grace because I missed so many board meetings. But one of the things I do remember so much, and you were talking about people that are impacted, were these cards that these usually little old ladies, widowed women, would send in because they got a rebate from EPCOR of maybe $23, $24 for a 3-month period. And they were so overwhelmed, so blessed by that $23 or $24 that can help to facilitate. And I know you put a lot of work into that particular program too, but can help facilitate that rebate for them. And that meant so much. And I think of, you know, especially out here with Royal Oaks and just, well, you know, you can forget about those people that $20 is a huge amount of money. But the work that you did, and you carried on. I mean, I had been on the board, again, I didn't contribute as much as so many others, but you carried that on. And because you put that effort in and you carried that on, there are, just like Lisa said, there are so many people out there that have been blessed. And I want to thank you for being willing to
Well, thank you.
take on that role. It was huge and you did an excellent job, so thank you.
I'll just open the floor. Anybody else who'd like to share? Or- yeah.
My name's Amy, and I moved down here from Idaho about 4 years ago, and didn't know anyone, and there's a church at the end of my block, and I went and met Hugh that first night, and his Amy, and we had, because he was also from Idaho, also from Meridian, also had attended the same church that I did in Meridian. It was just kind of synchronicity. He was there, you know, years before I was, and we just had, I said, well, how do I meet people? So he hooked me up with Meals on Wheels right away, and then I started volunteering at CAN and got hired on there as an admin, and now I'm helping with the taxes there, and we were talking about the people who are really grateful for help. That is just the life, the passion there. And, oh, I don't have to pay taxes anymore, I'm too old. And I said, oh, let's have a chat about property tax credit, you know, and signing those. I just want to thank you, Hugh, for getting me. I feel very much a part of the community now, and it's because of you.
Thank you.
I would like to say something too about you. I met you probably in 2017 or 18. I was in the Meals on Wheels office, and Hugh came bibby-bopping in and said, you know, I'm down at CAN, and at the time I didn't know much about CAN. I knew a little bit, but not as much as I should have. And so we talked about all the benefits that CAN does for the community. And he said, you know, I know you subsidize meals, we're both nonprofits. And he said, let's go together and do a memorandum of agreement, and we will help subsidize low-income meals. And that has been going on since 2018. I looked at the date on the memorandum that we signed. And so that has been going on, and so Sun City CAN has helped subsidize meals for low-income people. So Hugh's outreach is not just insular to CAN. He's got his hands out into the entire community helping. And just as you said, it's been going on for many years, and we really thank you.
Thank you.
I'd like to say something. I was on the board with Hugh for 9 years, and I don't think there's anybody who is a more compassionate human than Hugh. Our organization served so many people, and just like you said, the people that showed up that were thankful for a rebate of $25 or just for having somebody to listen. Hugh was the one that was always at the front of that. And you know, it's not as great as giving you a certificate, but I just want you to know that your compassion and leadership from CAN was impacted my life, and I loved working with you. So thank you.
My name is Mike Lindquist, and I remember vividly the first time I met Hugh. We were both guests at the Sun City Taxpayers Association, you know, the precursor to CAN. And during that meeting, Hugh was elected president, and much to my surprise and chagrin, I was elected vice president. Still don't know what happened. But Hugh faced an enormous challenge. One of the biggest concerns at the time was, in the months ahead, would the organization have enough money to pay the part-time employee? And Hugh has gone from that situation to the situation CAN is in today. I truly believe without Hugh's hard work, his terrific ideas, continually, there would be no CAN as we sit here right now. So I think everybody here should say, thank you, Hugh.
Thank you. Anybody else want to share? Oh, go ahead. Oh. I'm caught. All right. I'm just going to get out of the way.
I first met Hugh when he came and did a presentation at the church where I was a pastor. And I was so impressed with the work he did. Tom was part of that church and brought Hugh in and said, you've got to meet this guy, he's amazing. They kept talking about CAN, and when I think of cans, I think of like a can of soup or a can of tomatoes. So we did a fundraiser, Cans for CAN, and we filled them with loose coin. And the first time we did that, we got like $1,500, which I got to roll myself because I'm dedicated. But then as I got to know Hugh, he's like, well, you should serve on the board of directors. And I was still working full time, and it's like, well, okay. And then I retired, and he said, you should do the EPCOR water program. It's really not a big deal, and it's like, it's doubled in size since I've been doing it. But I appreciate so much what you've done, the spirit you have, the gumption you give people, you help other people become involved. And it's a blessing to know you and to have worked with you.
Whoa.
Thank you, Hugh.
Thank you, Lily.
You. So I, like Stu, saw an ad in the paper for a position at Sun City CAN. And thanks to Cheryl and Lynn, who I interviewed with, I was hired. And so I started during the last week of taxes 2 years ago. Anyway, enough about that, but, because everybody knows tax season at CAN. But I have to thank Cheryl and Lynn, because having an opportunity to work for CAN and work for you has really changed me. And I used to always read, and still do of course, The Independent, and that's how I got to know about CAN, because Hugh Duncan's picture was on the opinion page, thank you Rusty, and so I learned a lot about CAN, and of course always shared that with other people. And we never had to know when Hugh's opinion would appear, because when we'd answer or come in the morning and go to voicemails, there'd be 30 calls. I want a lockbox. I want to paint the town. I need to talk to the assessor. I need, whatever it was, including transportation for low vision or Meals on Wheels, was all because of Hugh's articles or opinions in the paper. So they read his information, and it was, so I never had to really look at the paper because I said, Hugh wrote an opinion. So, thank you. And the other thing I want to say is, Hugh's lived a lot of places, but he's also lived in Monroeville, Pennsylvania, which is a suburb of Pittsburgh. I'm from Pittsburgh, and tomorrow, the game between the Buffalo Bills and Pittsburgh has been postponed due to weather, so it won't be played till Monday. Just had to get that in there.
Oh my
But I do want to say, Hugh, as they say in Ireland, may all the days of the rest of your life be the very best of your life. Thank you.
Thank you all so much. I just appreciate it from the bottom of my heart. This has been a special day, and thank you.